Russia broke two strongest Ukrainian lines in two areas, and the ambush of the Russian jets. It's day 668 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. Now moving to Tyne, which is northwest of Crimea. If you recall, as Ukrainian forces were redeploying their forces to other areas, Russian forces launched a surprise attack. In fact, they were able to make a significant advance of several kilometers. Their objective was not to gain area, but to pin Ukrainian forces down. And it looks like they were able to achieve it. After that, I thought fights would move towards positional fighting. And for the most part it was true, but it seems like Russian forces want to continue their operation. As per latest report, Russian forces after the recent attacks were able to take this area under their control. Russian sources claim that their forces are planning to advance to Tyne. But I would not hold my breath. Currently the weather is very bad for the movement. This was expressed by the video from the Ukrainian side. Now moving to the Bakhmut sector. In my previous report, I reported that after the recent Russian advance around the road, pressure on Ukrainian forces in the cemetery and its surrounding area have increased significantly. And I further suggested that we might see their withdrawal. But as this was the last strongest fortified position, I expected Ukrainian forces to defend it for several more days. And it seems like that was their plan. They recently launched a counterattack around the railway line, as they wanted to relieve some pressure around the cemetery. In fact, they were successful in recapturing this area. However, that was not enough, because pressure from Russia was too high. Today it was reported that Russian paratroopers were attacking the Ukrainian positions around the cemetery from several sides. As a result, the last strongest fortified positions fell under Russian control. In addition, Russian forces also found some success in Avdiivka. Recently it was reported that they were able to clear the tree line and have now entered the northern part of the village. Now moving to Maryinka. As Russian forces raised their flags in Maryinka a couple of weeks ago, battle for the town was almost over. Mostly few houses at the outskirts remained under Ukraine's control. And since then, Russian forces have been slowly clearing those houses. Today it was reported that after the recent operation, they were able to capture this big area. Now only a very small area remains under Ukraine's control. In addition, Russian forces were also successful near Novomykhailivka. Previously we saw Russian forces entered several buildings at the outskirts, and were further storming the village. However, not only did the Ukrainian forces repel all the Russian attacks, they in fact were able to recapture this area. In addition, they pushed Russian forces significantly back. In one of the videos, Ukrainian forces were seen targeting Russian equipment around this area. But Russian forces were able to recover some of the positions. As per latest report, they captured this small area, and are further preparing to assault Ukrainian positions in the south. However, the most significant change happened in the north. This position here was one of the strongest Ukrainian positions in this area. It had basically single-handedly stopped the Russian advance from the north. But after the progress in Maryinka, Russian forces were able to put significant pressure from the north and from the east. Today it was reported that Russian forces were able to break Ukraine's strongest defensive line, and took this area under their control. It is expected that as a result, Russian advances from the north will increase. But it will definitely not be easy. Now moving to Khka. Biggest news of today was from this region. Ukrainian forces were able to shoot down 3 Russian Su-35 fighters. Sources says 3 Russian Su-35, tasked with carrying out FAB strikes on Ukrainian positions, were ambushed by a Patriot air defense system of Ukrainian forces. This was acknowledged by both sides. Many sources have expressed their thoughts on this incident. Many Russian sources blame the Russian commander of this region, by saying that he is obsessed with destroying the Ukrainian bridgehead. Even after losing personnel and equipment, he wants to push Ukrainian forces back. Many sources blame the operation. They say reconnaissance was not able to properly relay the info about the Ukraine's air defense system. And as a result, Ukraine was able to competently ambush Russian jets. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.